Good morning, everyone, and thank you to those of you who tuned in yesterday and did the Zoom meeting with us. It was a lot of fun, and it was so great to see everyone from my classroom in Primary East via Zoom. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you again. Yesterday, we read a book, Strega Nona, which takes place in Italy. So I thought we would kind of continue that today, and especially to honor the author Tomie dePaola. So Italy is another country in Europe, just like Ireland, which is what we read and talked about last time. So I have in my atlas here today, Italy. And if you're still working on your map of the world, then you could continue to work on Europe or finishing your map. I'll also attach some other information about Italy. But in Italy, if you ever have the pleasure to travel there or learn more about their culture, they're very friendly, loving people. And if you were to say hello to someone in Italy, you would say ciao. So, ciao everybody, yes indeed, yes indeed, yes indeed. Ciao everybody, yes indeed, yes indeed, my friends. So good morning. Thanks for joining. I have Strega Nona with me. She's a very old doll, but she goes with all of Tomie dePaola's stories about the famous character of Strega Nona, which is what we read yesterday during our Zoom chat. So Strega Nona has someone who comes to work with her and help her take care of her house, and his name is Big Anthony. And he's pretty silly and does not listen very well. So today we're going to read the book in honor of the author and illustrator Tomie dePaola, and it's called Big Anthony, His Story. So here's the cover. It was a beautiful sunny day in the northern hills of the country that we now know as Italy. Everything was set for a big feast. The whole family was gathered at the door of the farmhouse. "Here comes the bambino," Zia Rosetta the aunt called out. The godparents, carrying a fine baby boy, walked out, followed by a beaming mama and a proud papa. "On to the church," Il Padrino, the godfather, announced. "This will be the happiest of days. This is the firstborn, and he will do great things." "After all," said Nonno Emilio, the grandfather, "children are our future." Everyone crowded into the church to see the christening. The godparents held the baby as everyone gathered around. The baby was fast asleep. Mama whispered, "Wake up, my son, and listen to Padre Marcello." The priest started to pour the holy water as he declared, "Henceforth this baby shall be known as Anthony." Just then, baby Anthony, who was still asleep, threw up his arms, spilling the water all over himself and everyone else. "Look, baby Anthony didn't even cry or wake up when he got all wet," Zia Rosetta whispered to Nonna Griselia, his grandmother. "What a good bambino." Nonna Griselia said as she watched everyone drying off. "I don't know." On little Anthony's first birthday, there was a feast of all feasts in the shade of the olive grove. The family and friends sat at tables piled high with food. On a separate table was the birthday cake. Papa stood to give a birthday greeting. "Sit quietly, my son, and listen to Papa," Mama whispered to little Anthony. Papa began to make a speech. It was a long speech. "And now," Papa said, "Feliz cumpleaños, happy birthday, to my little son." But Big Anthony was nowhere to be seen. Suddenly there was a loud crash, and everyone looked around, and there was little Anthony covered in cake. Nonna Griselia said. "Little Anthony may be a bit of trouble." Little Anthony began to grow. "He's going to be a big boy," Nonno Emilio said. "He takes after my side of the family." Soon it was time for little Anthony to learn to drink out of a cup. Nonna Griselia was trying to teach him. "Hold the cup in both hands," Anthony did. Lift it up, Anthony did. Now drink. But just then a bird sang. He doesn't pay attention, Griselia said. That's the trouble. And she was right. Every year, little Anthony grew taller, and soon he was big enough to help on the farm. Here's a basket, Anthony. Go to the garden and pick the lettuce the way I showed you. Then bring it to me in the kitchen, Mama told him. See, Mama, Anthony said, and Anthony did. He wasn't paying attention, and the goat ate the lettuce. Oh, Anthony, Mama said. He returned the basket empty. Now Anthony was old enough to go to school. Anthony loved school, but the teacher kept saying, Attenzione, Anthony, pay attention, please. Because Anthony was the tallest boy in the class, the teacher asked him to stay after school and help tidy up the schoolroom. Anthony, would you please put all these books up on the shelf? We'll put the other things away when I come back. Are you paying attention, Anthony? Ah, see, Professor, up on the shelf. So Anthony did. He put everything on the shelf. He didn't listen. As Anthony grew older and taller, he was needed out on the farm. Anthony, Nonna Griselia said, take the lunches down to the field where the men are haying. And, Nonna Griselia added, be sure to find a shady spot to put them so they don't get hot in the sun. See, Nonna, Anthony said. Anthony looked around. There were no trees in the field. I know, he said to himself. I'll put the lunches under this haystack. They will stay nice and cool there. And then I'll just take a nap until it's time to eat. Anthony, Nonno Emilio called, wake up. Where's the food for lunch? We're hungry. Anthony smiled a big smile. I did just what I was told. I put the lunches where they would stay nice and cool. I put them under a haystack. I'll go get them right away. Uh-oh, he can't remember which one. Now Anthony was the tallest one in his whole family. It's from my side, Nonno Emilio said, and so everyone began to call him Big Anthony. Big Anthony, Mama said one day, go find your papa. The pasta is ready. See, Mama, Big Anthony said and rushed out. And Big Anthony, don't leave any of the gates open. Do you hear me? See, Mama, Big Anthony shouted, gates open, and Anthony did. He left every single gate open, and all the animals got out. That's it, Papa said. It's time for Big Anthony to go out into the world and earn his own fortune. Before he ruins ours, Nonna Griselia said. Arrivederci, Big Anthony. Buona fortuna. Good luck, the family called as Big Anthony set out on his journey. Down the highways and byways, Big Anthony strode south, whistling a happy tune. The whole world was ahead of him. How excited he was. He walked and walked until the sun set, and he arrived at a little town called Pisa. It was too dark to go any further, so Big Anthony found a wall to sit against. He opened his sack and ate his supper, and before he knew it, he fell fast asleep. The birds awoke him at dawn. He stood up, stretched, and opened his eyes, and what he saw shocked him. I must have leaned too hard against the wall, he said to himself, but I can fix it. And then he rushed away before anyone was awake. Now this special tower is called the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and that's what makes it so special. It's always leaning, and it always has since it was built, and Big Anthony decided to straighten it up. And all of the townspeople were angry because that tower is what makes their town famous. But off Anthony went down the road, pleased that he had fixed the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Soon he came to a place called Florence. Florence was filled with art. So Big Anthony got a job with an artist. Now, Anthony, the first thing I want you to do is make the paints. See these colored powders? Mix each one with water and put them in jars. Do you understand? Si, Big Anthony said. Let's see, Big Anthony said to himself after the artist had left the room. I have to mix all these colors with water and put them in jars. So he mixed all the colors together with water, and what did it make? He turned all the paints black. You've ruined my paints, the artist shouted. You're fired. So Big Anthony traveled on until he reached Roma, the city of Rome. Big Anthony had never seen so many beautiful buildings and so many churches. And soon he came to a toll bridge that crossed the river that ran through the middle of the city. 2 coins, please, the man at the bridge told him. I have no money, Big Anthony said. But I'm here to get a job. If you let me cross, I promise I will come back and pay you. Well, you're in luck. I need a helper. Would you like the job? The man asked. Si, signore, Big Anthony said, looking around. You must collect a toll of 2 coins, the man said, but not from the cardinal. Are you paying attention? Oh, si, signor, Big Anthony said, not from the cardinal. But all day, Big Anthony let everyone cross the bridge for free. And when the cardinal came, after the altar boys and priests from the cathedral, Big Anthony said, Stop. 2 coins to cross. But I am the cardinal. I don't pay. Sorry, but you must pay. Everyone else can cross for free. You must pay. My boss said so. So Big Anthony had to leave Rome, and he headed south until he arrived at a town called Naples. Luck was with him. No sooner had he walked into the city than Big Anthony got a job as a waiter. Be sure to pay attention to the orders so you can give everyone the right food, the owner of the restaurant told him, but Big Anthony did not pay attention. I didn't order eels. I hate eels. Where's my pizza? You gave me soup. I ordered pasta. Out, 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 the owner of the restaurant shouted. And just as Big Anthony left the restaurant, Mount Vesuvius, the volcano, erupted. Well, Big Anthony said, at least that wasn't my fault. Big Anthony headed south again until he came to the part of the town called Calabria. He walked down a hill and came to a little village, and there in the town square was a sign. Someone needed a helper, someone who lived up on a little house on a hill. Big Anthony climbed up the hill to the little house and knocked on the door. And the rest is history. And that's when he met Strega Nona. So that book gives us a little tour of many famous cities and places all over Italy, as well as famous landmarks that are there. So I hope you've enjoyed reading with us. I will do 2 more videos Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday morning we're going to meet for another Zoom chat for Primary East. So I look forward to seeing all of you, and I hope you're doing well. Take care.